What's up, Geminis? Welcome to This is Into the Infinite. I'm Charlie, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So, we are diving into this new spread, which is a burning question spread. I wanted to contribute some timeless guidance to my channel, in addition to the sort of, astrologically based or otherwise. So, we're going to structure it a little bit differently, but this is all in service to you and to connecting with spirit for you. So, I'm so excited for this. The first question that we're tackling in this particular series is where is my creative inspiration hiding? I'm just going to grab a sip of water here so I sound less like one of Marge Simpson's sisters. Maybe that helped. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to dive in. So where is your creative inspiration hiding? This has been really, really interesting to dive into for the different signs. So Gemini, I'm pumped to see where this takes us for you. So I'm going to start by inviting the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. All right, so let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so we're going to start with the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle deck, and I'm going to pull a card from that for guidance for you. All right, Spirit, what guidance do you have for me for my wonderful Geminis here, my gems, my gems? Thank you so much, Spirit. The magic zone, the exhilaration of discombobulation. It's almost like finding the joy in your tower. Yeah. Creative regeneration. I think about regenerative planting. I don't remember if I mentioned this on other videos that I did or do on the channel. I feel like I might have. But just where regenerative planting is like where, the ecosystem is ravaged by something, be it natural or human influenced impacts to it. And they plant specific plants that really, they'll bring oxygen to a place in the water or something along those lines, or they'll make it an inhospitable landscape for a specific invasive species. And then that balances out the ecosystem so that it can be welcomed back in a way that's more healthy to it. So it's almost like there's something like that happening for you. Like there's like this creative regeneration that's happening, and you're not in you're kind of in the valley, like a little bit, I'm hearing. I'm clarifying with the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot as well. Spirit, can I get some more guidance for my Geminis here? This is really interesting. Your energy feels very, like there's a potential in the way that I'm feeling your energy, Gemini, is that there's a potential here that you do not recognize. You can't see it. This is also moon energy too to me, right? There's something you can't see about the regenerative and also just life-giving potential of where you are. It's almost like if the Empress had like a moon shadow, that's what this would be, is what I'm getting. Wow. Gemini, I'm so excited to dive into this for you. Spirit, what else do you have for me for my wonderful Geminis relative to their creative inspiration and where it's hiding? I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So this is the Four of Wands. I'll put that down here. Okay. I'm almost getting that there was a contract or something along those lines. Could be a relationship that just did not go the way that you were hoping, or like someone will be like, why are you the way you are? And you're like, I have my reasons. It's that sort of like closed off to being curious about things. And that could be with very good reason, right? Like there could be a really good reason why you feel that way. Or that you feel that like because that's how you need to protect your energy. But there's a flourishing that's like, it's like you're waiting. This is pre-Empress energy, Nine of Pentacles, right? So it's funny because I was like, oh yeah, this is like the Empress, the Shadow Empress. And then the Nine of Pentacles is like, for real though. Spirit, can I get some more messages here from my Geminis? Thank you so much. You came in on the split. Well, that Gemini. Like, what just happened? Did you see that? Love came flying out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was inclined to not believe this could be a divorce or there was a divorce. The reason being is that like there's like fresh new stuff on the incoming here, but on like the setting the stage or like the answer that you're looking for is kind of something that'll help you justify being closed off or protecting, in that protective energy. Like there's a difference between protective energy and like no nonsense, right? You can suffer no fools, but you can still be curious as heck about something. You can still be in that energy, right? The details of the question, I think, are related to commitments and long-term commitments. The reason why I feel like something might have shifted here is because of the Seven of Swords and the Four of Pentacles, where you're like, yeah, no, not doing that again. And then the Nine of Pentacles is here as sort of, this is what you need to release. And I think it's almost like you need to release this self-reliance. It's almost like showing up in the reverse, right? It's like you need to release this self-reliance because there's so much transformation that's coming through when you rely on something more than that. And that's like a truth that you need to be aware of. Judgment is Pluto energy. And I think that like this is really, there's like a sweet spot that you reach, and there's so much new, like you're carrying all of this in, and this sort of discombobulation is, I think, what the way I look at it is like that in between space, right, where the old is still around, and the old doesn't necessarily mean people are hanging around, right? Like when my marriage ended, for example, in 2012, finally, like put like it was just one of those things where getting all the paperwork together and all of that stuff, and it was all of the the emotional divorce happens well before the paperwork is finalized, right? And that's sort of how things can linger. But I'm not talking about like people still being around. Like, there's a song by Dua Lipa, New Rules, and the line, if you're under him, you're not getting over him. I was like, whoa, that's like super true. And that's not something I have had to face, but just the truth of that is like, it's nothing, I don't get that kind of energy where there's like this active connection still. I think it's just more so this liminal space is like, there are still things hanging around because you haven't yet committed to seeing what's coming. You haven't yet committed. Four of Wands. And it could be because of a divorce. And this can be like creative divorce too, right? Like this can be being divorced from ourselves, because this is showing up in the reverse. This can be being divorced from ourselves, being divorced from what we want, or feeling like we are abundant enough to give of ourselves freely, like feeling divorced from your sense of place in the world, and like making meaning that it's possible for you to have a meaningful life accessible to you. That discombobulation, the magic zone, the exhilaration of discombobulation. Like Pluto energy too is that transformative energy. And it's not just about transformation. It's also about the space. Like it's like a void, I want to say. But it is like a liminal space where you're in between stuff. You don't know what's coming next because the new stuff hasn't, arrived on the scene yet. But then you're also still only aware of the past. And sometimes all you can do is just sit in that place, and like it feels frustrating, right? It feels like moon energy, like there's a shadow to it. But like, look at all the stuff that's growing around you, my lovely. Look at it all. There's so much. And I've been in places like that too, right? Like going from grad school into like the pandemic job market, there was nothing available. Right? And even now, like there's still, I just reached a point of saying, screw it. I'm going to start to do things that I want to do. And tarot happens to be one of them. Spiritual teaching, all of that stuff. That's something that's deeply meaningful to me. And that liminal space is still, there are ways that this channel is growing and that other things are happening. But it's just like, you don't have to be undone by the uncertainty. And it's like leaning into the uncertainty is the transformation, I think. Right. And that's the truth. Like that's the clarity, is that you have to lean into the uncertainty because that is where you are going to fill your cup. Because right now, I don't think that there's an element of certainty, even within yourself, that is possible or accessible to you, which isn't bad. It doesn't speak to how much you know or don't know. It's not based on your hard knowledge or anything like that. It's just sometimes life goes in ways that we don't expect. It twists and turns. That's the beauty of it. That's what makes it difficult, but that's what makes us so fully human and alive and here. And it's such a beautiful thing. But when we're in the middle of that, like, what's next? It's hard, right? There's an impulse to like control things, or to try and get our way, right? Like, and it just doesn't work, because the universe is like, ha, 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 let me tell you. And then you have tower moments. And I think that that's what's maybe happening here for you, Gemini, is like a little bit of a tower moment. Judgment is Pluto, and tower is Pluto as well. But I feel like it's less of a crash bang tower and more of an internal, like, oh, right, I can make peace with this. Right. I don't need to struggle. I don't need to stress. Yeah, 4 of Swords on the bottom. You're healing, right? That's where the epiphany is coming, in the rest from the mental anguish about this. Like, sometimes we feel too like, oh, I should be somewhere else. But that's the beauty. Like, we learn through not getting our own way. 7 of Swords, right? This 4 of Pentacles and 7 of Swords is like really loud about not getting our own way. Yeah, look at what else just came out. Like, whoa. Gemini. And when I see things on the split like this, I don't pull them out all the time, because I feel like this is energy that's like in passing. It's almost like waves, right? Like they crest and then they go back down. And it's almost like that's how I see some of these energies coming up, is like these are storylines that happened that inform this, but they're not the totality of where you're at right now. So in terms of your creative inspiration, Spirit, can I get some information here, just a little bit more, to guide my Taurians about where they're headed, please? And thank you so much. Relative to where their inspiration's hiding. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles again, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Let me do this one. Spirit, can I get some more messages for my wonderful Taurians, please? And thank you so much. Empress, yeah. World, 9 of Cups, Lovers, and Ace of Pentacles. So I really do think that there's making peace with not really knowing where you are for the time being, because I do think that there's stuff coming in. Like, you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, and which is your card. So Ace of Pentacles, Lovers, and 9 of Cups. So like, fulfillment, potential relationship, connection, all of this stuff that you may have wanted before, but really felt inaccessible to you. And the world is here, I think, to kind of show you that there's a portal through it, right? That there's a portal that you're entering into through it, and that it comes from, you've had to put in the work. And I think that's the kind of crappy part. That's like the hard part here, right? And I think that it is giving you this. So let's do this so that it just shows up in the reading, however people are watching this. But the 9 of Pentacles is in reverse here, but then you're showing up in the upright and then transitioning into the Empress, and then we get the World. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, right? 7 of Pentacles. And then we also have the 9 of Pentacles. Whoa, if I can hang on to them here. 9 of Pentacles. And then the Empress. And then we have the World. So it's like you had to go through this. I think that recognizing and being easy on yourself. And I think that this little bit here is kind of the universe saying, like, this is what's coming. Please trust it. Please trust it. The magic zone is this place of liminality between this ending that made you feel like you were kind of turned upside down in terms of your confidence and knowing what you wanted and what was important to you. But like, I do think that it could be relationship coming in because of the Ace of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, the Empress, 9 of Cups, and the Lovers, and then the Ace of Pentacles. These are, so Aces and Cups are kind of like, aces and Cups, goodness. Aces and Pages tend to be messages. Knights are messengers as well, messages. But I think that this is sort of like an energy that you're drawing towards yourself. So this is kind of, if it could be summed up, it'd be like magician energy as opposed to strength energy, where you're wrestling something, out. You're wrestling with it. I think this is you drawing in love. Like Empress is Venus energy, which is Taurus and Libra, and Venus is 7th house and 2nd house. 7th house is like long-term commitments, long-term relationships. That could be long-term contracts. These are things where it's like people have been in, there's like a length to them, either in future or in the past. And the Nine of Pentacles is it's a minor arcana reflection of the hermit energy, which is wisdom, right? It's an element of wisdom, and I think that this is sort of the wisdom that you're arriving at, and it's also a minor arcana reflection of the star. And I think that it is, there's this healing that you're healing and wisdom integrated into your person through healing, through healing this kind of not really believing in yourself because of the way that this all went down. This zone, the exhilaration of discombobulation, like we can get really twisted around in thinking that we don't deserve things, or that we don't know what we really want, or that like we disconnect ourselves from what we truly desire, because it gets easier to do that than to risk like contractual separations, because the contractual stuff is really tough, right? Like when my marriage ended, it was like I was like, I'm never marrying again. No, I'm never doing that again. But now it's like it's not just about being open to those types of things, but it's also recognizing that there's so much wisdom in where you were, and that it was planting these really fertile seeds so that you know so much more of what you are wanting, right? But this Empress energy tells me about that you are really aware of what you want, right? Like you're birthing this into the world is how I'm seeing it, right? It's giving birth to an entire new world for you. And the world here is almost as if it's saying like, yep, I'm the portal, step right on through. Because the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords are here to say there's new clarity, there's new heart space, there's new heart healing, there's new emotion. And the Nine of Cups is that fulfillment piece, right? And the nines here are also sort of conclusions to cycles, right? Like if you see repeating numbers 999, that tends to mean a cycle is completing. So I think that this is kind of in alignment with that, where you're beginning to understand that there's not just wisdom in the journey that you've been on thus far, but I think also wisdom in the confusion and in the moments where you would lay up at night feeling anxious because you're like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do. All I know is that I don't want this Seven of Swords and this Four of Pentacles feeling again. Like sometimes that's all that you do know, and that's enough. Because this is what's coming towards you, right? This Nine of Cups, emotional fulfillment. Someone who feels like a wish fulfillment. Someone who feels like a dream come true because of the dream that did not come true, right? They kind of go hand in hand. But it's a stable offering, a stable awareness because of the Ace of Swords here. It's like this stability that you're able to see now, and you can see it in other people with much greater clarity. Because of that zone of discombobulation, but it's a perspective that you wouldn't have otherwise. So it's a tricky thing, because sometimes we only realize the good. There's a reader that is talking more about this, so it could just be that this is in my consciousness right now, but Abraham Hicks and that idea of contrast, where it's like, yeah, you know what you want because of what you don't want. And sometimes that's as simple as it is, and detaching from making meaning around the thing you do not want is what you have to do. To move more towards what you do want. Because we can spend a lifetime creating an identity out of what we don't want. We can spend a lifetime in that energy, feeling stuck, feeling Four of Pentacles, feeling Nine of Pentacles in reverse, feeling Seven of Swords, right? And it's not wasted energy by any stretch of the imagination. It's just energy that we may not need to expend for as long as we do. And that can be, that's some lesson that we learn along the way too, is that it's just, we understand what's worth it, Nine of Pentacles, Empress, Seven of Pentacles, and what's not, right? But the thing here that the universe is showing me through the cards that Spirit is really loud about right now is that these are not cards of like, here's what you don't want, right? Here's what you don't want. These are cards of here's what you do want. Here's what you do want. It's accessible to you. Here's what you do want. Right? There's no Five of Cups. There's no Eight of Cups. There's no Five of Swords here. It's really beautiful cards of investment valuable. And these cards too, just saying like, this is on its way to you. Like, are you going to be ready for it? Or are you going to be in a Five of Cups energy? Or are you going to be in an Eight of Cups energy? Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles. Like, so yeah. I think this is really beautiful for you, Gemini. And I think that you have to remember that right now, whenever I see your card show up in your reading, it's kind of a sign of you being empowered. So I think this is sort of you showing up in this energy as like you're empowered right now. If this isn't for any one of you, if this is not a relationship coming in, I think this is you also just standing in your power and being fueled by these things that are you're drawing to you now because you know what you want. But I think the key is here to move towards that as opposed to being in this, discombobulated energy. So remember the exhilaration. Remember that you do not have to hang on to other things. And the other thing too is once you start to get what you want, my lovely Geminis, once you start to get what you want, you do not have to sit in the energy of what you don't want to justify the good, because that will spit you right out of what you want. It will make it really hard. Like, I think about friends who have dated people and they bring their old relationships to the new one. So it makes it really hard to grow because, you can feel it when someone starts comparing you to someone else, right? You can feel it. It's happening. And even if you can't say it, because someone will be like, don't project. It's like, no, I can feel it happening, right? So I think leaving that energy where it is and just leaving it in that valley is going to be really important to moving forward. So I'm going to pull some additional guidance here from this Miracles Now deck by Gabby Bernstein. Spirit, can you please give me some additional guidance here for my wonderful Geminis on where their inspiration is hiding? I think it's in this valley. Draw inspiration from the journey and the valleys that you've been in, my lovely gems. To travel further on my path of personal growth, I call on my spiritual running buddies for help. Yeah. This is possibly something to do to help you stay focused on what you want, right? It's connecting with people, not just who are like-minded, but also connecting with people who, or around whom you feel like you're flying, right? Around whom you see, these are people who talk about what they want. These are people who engage in what they're interested in, as opposed to sitting in the place of what they don't want to justify the good and being like, well, I've suffered enough, so where's my stuff? Or I've suffered enough, so I deserve good. And that, like, there's a difference in energy and you'll feel it. So looking for these companions in the journey is going to be really important, I think. And then I'm just going to clarify further with the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. Spirit, can I please get some additional messages here from my gems, my Geminis, about their creative inspiration? I feel like it's in that valley, that discombobulation. Things are about to get really juicy. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are, Gem. A little heads up on an addiction that afflicts all really old souls. Giving love eventually becomes an even greater need than receiving love. See, you're not strange. Love, the universe. Things are about to get really juicy. And I think it's remembering that, right? Remembering that this is where you're headed. Leave this stuff in the valley. Leave it in the valley, Gemini. I'm going to pull one more here. I just got the image of Spirit like cracking their knuckles, like, bring it on, bring it on. In terms of giving you more inspiration, Gemini. Spirit, can I get some more messages from a wonderful Gemini? You will be surprised. You will be surprised. Ask with love, and their answer may surprise you. Yet, whatever their answer, be happy, and this may surprise them. Hi, it's love, and the universe. You will be surprised. I think that you have to let yourself be surprised too. Let yourself be surprised. You know where that starts? I know, because I have this issue from time to time too. It's letting go of control, Gemini. Let yourself be surprised. It's a really beautiful feeling when it happens. And surprise never happens because you're expecting it or have any modicum of control over it. So lean into that, my dear gems. And so if this resonated for you, just remember, like, I feel like this needs to be emphasized over and over and over again, Gemini. There is amazing stuff on the way. Don't feel like because you're in the valley, it's not coming. You're not going to live in the valley forever. You're moving through it. You're moving through it. You are. You may not feel like it because sometimes progress comes from standing still. Judgment. Sometimes progress comes from standing still. But when we do that, we gain enlightenment, right? I'm getting major hermit energy off of this. Through this Nine of Pentacles, like you're gaining wisdom. And these are things that are coming in because you're standing still a little bit. So Gemini, that is all I have for you. But if this resonated, please do like and subscribe. I would love to connect with you on a regular basis. And doing so, subscribing and liking kind of throws me into the YouTube algorithm in a way that makes me more visible to others, and it allows me to keep putting messages out there like this, which I just love connecting with Spirit to give to others through that. And yeah, there are other ways you can connect with me through the daily videos and monthlies and other structures that I've chatted with Spirit about to put together for you on this channel. But if this is where we part, Gemini, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day whenever this finds you. Take care. Bye.